All right, everybody, welcome to the Eagle Nation podcast. Hope everybody is doing fantastic. Everybody is, I know, ready for Christmas to get here. At least I think they are. We're welcomed today by Jill Hunt. She is our awesome and amazing lower school principal and head, and we're just thrilled to have her on board with us here at Mount Bethel Christian Academy. And just welcome, Jill. How has everything been going so far in the first 4 months of being with the madness and the craziness that is Mount Bethel Christian Academy?
Well, thank you for having me on today, Shannon. It is such a joy and a pleasure to even be asked. So thank you for having me come on the podcast. It's really cool. I've never been on a podcast. Yes, it's super cool. It has been remarkable. I mean, truly, I'm from a tiny little town where everybody knows your name. And from the moment I walked into Mount Bethel when I came to interview, it felt like home. You know, it was sweet and loving and genuine and all the good warm feels. And I'm proud to say that from the moment I got here, it's been nothing but that. So I've absolutely loved it. It has truly been my pleasure.
Okay, before we get into like some of the just school stuff, let's have a comparison to see who has the smaller town.
Okay,
all right. I mean, I'm pretty small town, pretty country as well.
Okay.
I grew up in Martin, Georgia. So if you know where that is, good. If not, then even better. When I grew up, I actually had more cows in the town than people. So see, I'm speaking your language now with cows, I think.
I showed cows growing up. So yes.
Yeah.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah. I grew up on a farm as well. We had cows. We were a chicken farm. So we had laying eggs. So we were a laying hen chicken farm. Our cows were more of the just to have cows and, you know, the pasture and all that kind of stuff. Like we had Santa Catrusia cows,
Okay.
you know, and just different things. Yeah, different things.
My friend's farm, that I would show her cows. My grandfather had a farm as well, but I actually showed her cows. We were big in 4-H together. So she had Gilvey breed was hers. It's a German breed, but then also Angus is real big in Tennessee. But we only had one stoplight. So how many stoplights did you have?
Got a flashing light. Got you.
Okay. Well,
got you beat on that one.
You were smart.
100%. Got you beat on that one. So, yeah. We Stevens County was where I grew up, and Toccoa was where we normally tell people we're from. But yeah, it was like, you know, to the high school was about 20 minutes away because it was like 20 miles away.
Yeah.
So, you know, so one of those kind of drives, you know. But yeah, my first car was when I wanted a Mountain Dew, I'd hop on the tractor, you know, and I'd drive, you know, like a half mile up the road, you know, to the store and get me a Mountain Dew when I was like 4th grade or something like that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, pretty country. And my country comes out sometimes really strong. I try to hide it as much as I can, but sometimes it just, you know, it pops out. So you mentioned 4-H. Were you part of FFA or anything else along those lines, or just?
No, I was just in 4-H. Like I said, my best friend growing up, she and I were kind of thick as thieves, and we did everything together. And one of those was we did all the 4-H contests, you know, and then of course we showed cows, we did dairy products judging, and we actually were on a cattle judging team at one point. I was the kid who did a little bit of everything. So I was like 4-H, athletics, arts. I just like to be busy. So that was me in school.
Yeah, I did a little bit of the judging kind of part. You know, the 4-H stuff, I did more of the other stuff. I didn't really do the farm. Like I was doing the farm stuff all day, every day. Like, you know,
at home.
Get up in the morning, you come home from school. I was like going, I'm not doing that, you know, as an after school or a school project. I'm not doing that at all. You know, so, but you know, we definitely, you know, had fun. I was, you know how it is growing up in a small town. You wanted to get away from it as fast as you possibly could when you were at that age. But I mean, the older I've gotten, the more I definitely would want to
appreciate it.
Yeah. You know, like you know,
growing up in a tiny town for sure.
Yeah, I could see myself just going back and getting off the grid and trying to see if I can remember how to do all that stuff. You know, I don't know if I've been cityfied too much over the last 15 to 20 years or what's been happening. So, you know.
Sure.
But anyway, I thought that was, I was kind of, you know, looking on some of the things and I'm like, oh, cow, small town. Okay, let's get this conversation kind of
How
stuff.
small town are you, Jill? Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see how small. You know, I think the other thing too that I was finding is, you know, kind of, you know, to kind of set up things a little bit too is, so Chicago Bulls, huh? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. I grew
okay.
up watching Michael Jordan play, and I would watch all the championship games. I can remember watching it on this tiny little television in my mom's bedroom, all the big games and, Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and all the ones, and I just loved them, and I even have, I wrote to Michael Jordan when I was little, and he sent me his, signed autograph card, and I still have
Oh,
it.
wow.
So yeah, I loved Michael Jordan. Also just kind of loved all the things he did in his life as well. He was just a really cool athlete. I thought it was really cool that in college he didn't make the team and he kept trying. And then later became one of the greatest, I mean, to me, the best basketball player of all time. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, in middle school, yeah, and everything else too that you just keep, and then yeah. So
yeah,
same way, like I show my age a little bit. You know, kind of became a Carolina fan before he got to North Carolina.
yeah.
Just was of course all in during his time there, and of course that led me once he got the NBA to be a Bulls fan. So I was all in early on, and of course during all the run in the '90s and everything else. We actually you don't know this, but we have an alumni parent who was actually one of the dancers for the Chicago Bulls during that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So the next time that they happen to be around or something, I'll introduce you to.
Oh, so
So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things too, to where I didn't know that either. And I'm friends with his family, and it just kind of randomly came out, and I was like, "One,
What?
what? How come you
Yeah.
never shared
That's
this before?"
awesome.
And he's like, "Oh, well, I kind of know those people." I'm like, "Well, what? What are you talking about?" So I guess then you're going to then if we said LeBron or
Oh,
Michael, you're gonna go with who?
Michael,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
Right. So you're
Hands down Michael Jordan all the
okay.
way.
So you're a sane normal person, so that's good to know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anytime I want to get my class talking, or they just not listening to me, I know that I can make some comment about Michael, and LeBron being trash, and I immediately have their attention, and we can move on.
That's how you get their attention with the older students. The younger students, we say something cheesy.
Exactly. But yeah, but yeah, I mean the Jordan Bulls, everything else like that too. So that's
I love
always
it.
been so there's two connections right there, right off the bat to kind of get things going, and we can
Yes.
always kind of refer back to it a little bit. But let's jump in a little bit to this cool stuff. Um, coming in, and I know you've been a blessing to us already so far. With just coming on some of your leadership, and just tell us a little bit about what kind of the experience has been like so far, and maybe some of the changes that have been made, and maybe some of the things that you're hoping to do over the course of this year and the next couple of years with the lower school.
It's just been so fun. And honestly, the structure here of the leadership is probably what I've been most impressed with. Whether it's right here at the lower school with our lower school council, they've been such a I've been in different schools. I've had the honor and privilege of leading 4 different schools along my, administrative career. It's my 11th year in administration. And so, I've always had fun wherever I've been. Joining a school community though as a new person who didn't really have any connections. I've only done that twice, and I will definitely say this has been much easier. And I'll say I think it's because of again those leadership structures. So that lower school council, I mean, I honestly felt like I instantly had this team of people who were, wanting me to be successful. And honestly, they knew that at the root of it, they wanted the lower school to be successful. And so this partnership, beautiful partnership. And I feel like I'm a pretty collaborative leader. Very rarely as a leader do I have it has to be a certain way. I've found over the years that, usually when everyone kind of shares all the ideas, while it takes a lot of time, which is usually probably where I like to like go from A to B in 90 seconds, but that's just my personality. I'm kind of just all over the place. And so that's something I've kind of a learned skill I've had to learn. And that lower school council has been incredible just to talk through. And I always say avoid mud puddles. And so they've really kind of helped me do that, but then also just helped me make great decisions. And it's decisions that we've made together. So between them and then of course the structure here with the admin team at the level that's for the academy level, that's been incredible as well. We meet weekly, and so it's also been another good great group to bounce ideas with, and so it's been very collaborative. I've kind of felt like I've kind of had someone holding my hand throughout the whole thing, and as a leader a lot of times you feel alone, and haven't felt that way at all here. And so that's been really special about this school. Another school I worked at was similar to that, and it was my favorite school I've ever worked at. And so I've really enjoyed getting back to a school that is so collaborative at its heart.
What
Yeah.
do you let's start with some what do you think one of the some of the biggest opportunities for us are here
Ooh, great
at
question.
school?
Well, I will say one of the things I've been most impressed with is I'm a data girl, and so I love data. And as I've dug into the data, which I don't think, Mount Bethel really hasn't had the opportunity to dig into that at the lower school level. And so reviewing it, the data is incredible. And so for me, thinking ahead and knowing how I've used data in the past, thinking about where we can go now, being able to share that information with teachers and help them to know how to use it. We have incredible teachers. They're phenomenal and they're doing great work. But it's almost like giving them just another tool in the tool belt. And so that piece I think will be really fun. This group is big to just jump in, and I've loved that. I'm in my Christmas PJs today, and so I love Christmas. I'm kind of like I don't know, I'm a lot with Christmas. I mean, might as well just put Christmas lights on me and let me flash all day because that's kind of my brain about Christmas. And I love that the faculty here has just embraced my crazy and they have done Christmas like no other group. I've always done a countdown to Christmas every school I've ever been at. And some people are like, you're a little much. But, our kids love it at this level. And I have been so impressed by how the students have they've loved the teacher's energy. I mean, they've really taken it to a whole next level. So I think that's what I'm most impressed with. It's like anything that I share, then they're like, yeah, let's do it. We did a dot day this year, which was so fun. And the teachers really got involved in that. And that was super fun. We had, I think they've always done a parade for Thanksgiving. And this year we said, hey, let's let them do it together instead of it just being something separate. And so the whole lower school did it. We had students cheering, and then our fifth and our kindergarten students were actually in the parade, which was so sweet. So just those opportunities to kind of refine and allow us to all come together and align as a whole lower school. They seem to embrace it and want it, and I love it. And it's just fun. It's so fun. The community, it's a strong community, which is again really incredible and just an honor to be a part of.
Yeah, I agree. I always kind of mention that we're a little bit more of a community. We're a little bit like family.
Yeah.
At times we do get on each other's nerves, and we
Oh, for
probably
sure.
do want to strangle each other. But at the end of the day, we still love each other. We want to see each other highly successful, and we're willing to back that person up. 100%.
And that's what I've seen in those lower school council meetings. You know what? We might not agree and we might have some really good dialogue, but at the end of the day, we'll come to a decision that we probably wouldn't have came to, and it probably wouldn't have been the best decision because everybody in the room is sharing their perspectives. And so it's been really remarkable. And you're right, they will get behind it, even if it wasn't their idea. And so that's what I've loved. I've always wanted to be a part of that. And again, a school I have been before in the past, and when I have been, those are the most successful schools I've worked in.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the crazies. Maybe, I mean, not that you'll launch, like we're not officially launching anything today, but if there's like one new kind of crazy event or crazy something that you would like to implement as a maybe lower school tradition, what would that be? Kind of
I
dreaming, kind of dreaming right now a little bit.
dreaming. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think right now it was my Christmas idea. Like honestly, just like
Okay.
the big countdown to Christmas. And they've done it. We did every single day of the month. There's been something special. And so they've really jumped in. Thinking really big. I mean, I enjoy big events. Those are kind of my bread and butter. Those are the things I like, things that are make school fun. I taught kindergarten when I was a teacher, and so I've always believed that if kids don't think school is fun, then it's kind of it's all a moot point because if they don't love it now, they're certainly not gonna love it when they get to high school. So I will say we're soft launching something in fifth grade right now, but I would like to hard launch that next year more fully. And so it's this idea of a capstone year with your fifth grade students, essentially having, Mount Bethel already does a great job of having a lower school student government and some other leadership opportunities like safety patrol, but really making sure that every single kid in that fifth grade has the opportunity to have a leadership experience where they would apply for the job, literally go through a job interview process. We tap into some of our, academy admin, tap into you, baby Shannon, to come down and do an interview process for our kids. They'd apply for a job, which would be like one of those. Of course, we already have safety patrol, right? We're already doing principal panel this year, but adding in some other jobs where they could have a leadership role. And the idea of this summit is what we're going to call it, is that all of our kids are going to have the opportunity to kind of figure out maybe what you don't want to do before you get to college. and visit, even go as far as to visit maybe Georgia Tech or some other local colleges here so that we can kind of go visit the different colleges and again, see what you don't want to do. Uh, but really putting an emphasis on that fifth grade year to be our capstone year through spiritual formation, transformative experiences, and leadership opportunities. We're trying to build it. We're already putting a few things in this year, but next year, hard launch that is probably the big heavy lift right now, other than data analysis on my table.
That's awesome. So that would kind of be something separate or kind of mixed in with kind of the career day kind of career.
Yes. So I would say separate and apart from, because I think career day is more of an academy wide. And
Yeah.
this is more or a lower school academy, whereas this is more focused on simply fifth grade, like really just focusing on fifth grade. And it also builds in these mentor opportunities, which, as
Yeah.
close knit as Mount Bethel is and the community that they have, I think it's going to lend itself well. I know I really enjoy it. It gives me an opportunity to, I've got 10 students on my principal panel. It's letting me kind of have a nice touch point and get to know students on a different level. And so this way, the idea is all fifth grade kids would have another mentor, another adult in their life other than just their fifth grade teachers to also mentor. And, I've kept in touch with principal panel students I've had in the past over the years. And it's just fun to be that, another person in their life. So,
Yeah, I love that. And that's something like, me and some of the, the more, I guess, seasoned veterans here at Mount Bethel Christian Academy over the course of the
yeah.
years. I think we've always tried to get something like this and even on a larger level kind of started, and it may get to a point and for whatever reason it doesn't get fully through, but we want to connect these like even through the parents, like
Yeah.
find a way to where we can connect like these lower school families to middle school families to upper school families, and just kind of keep this to where that the mentorship not only happens within the structure of inside the academy with teachers and students and even students to students, but also on that family level outside of the academy. And I think this maybe is like we've always talked about, how do we get this started? Where is the entry point? And maybe this is kind of an entry point to where
Well,
you're creating that connection with a student and a faculty person, and then maybe that's where then we can bridge it into the family part of it as
oh,
well.
for sure. Absolutely. And I think too, when we're all on the same campus, I think it'll be great. I think there's going to be, it'll really lend itself to do more of those things. I know we've been trying to have, our football players down, our basketball players at Arrival, our cheerleaders, having the praise band come to chapel. The students have loved that. We've even done some student panels where we've asked them about, what was it like being a lower school student? What advice would you give our lower school students? So I think as much as we can do that, I think is a really great idea and just helps build that relationship, which is what I think you're kind of hitting on is most important.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the ability, I mean, logistically, driving, 6 miles across and getting something done or starting the day somewhere and, and then being kind of out of sight, out of mind a little bit, but then being on the same campus to where it's just a stroll across campus or a walk down a hallway, and I mean, and then you're kind of, you're visible all day long, not only kids to kids and teachers to kids and everything, but also family to family, as families are picking up kids in the afternoon or staying for an event or sports or whatever it might be. So I think that connection helps just kind of build anything that we do decide to launch kind of coming. So totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Let's kind of real quick on that too. I mean, getting ready to be one campus.
Yeah.
What are some of the advantages of that besides what we just talked about that you're looking forward to from a lower school standpoint?
The possibilities are endless. I mean, there's so many opportunities to have our students, partner with those upper school students, those middle school students. And then, of course, just the natural vertical alignment that'll be able to happen more organically between our teachers as well. I've had the opportunity before of working beside another school. I've never had the opportunity of having all of the schools on one campus, but I have had the opportunity of working with a sister school beside me that was the grade that would follow my school before. And we would do stuff together all the time. And I know that my second graders at that point would be the students who would transition to her school, which was a 3 through 5 school that was next door. And so between her third graders and my second graders, we would do things all the time, like field day, for example. Our second graders would go over and help with their field day. Their fifth graders would actually come help with our field day. just little things. We would have on Read Me Week, then her teachers would come over and read to our kids. It was just, we had a really great time. That principal and I were very close. And so pretty much it was just as natural as it could be. And we were just, you wouldn't have to plan ahead either very far, which, when you get in the hustle bustle of school, you got big plans and it's hard sometimes to get ahead enough that you feel like you can ask somebody to travel to you. Whereas when it's just a walk across the campus, it's pretty simple. So she and I would do lots of events together and it was really fun. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too. Yeah, like, I mean, student ambassadors can help with fuel. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, like even us, trying to, and we've talked about this too, about implementing some sort of field day as well at the high school
yeah.
level and something like that. So yeah, I mean, we're excited about it too.
Well, and being new, for me, I don't know a lot of the upper school faculty. And so I know a few of you because I
Yeah,
have interactions, of course, with you, Shannon, but I don't know all of their faces or names. And so I think when we're all on the same campus, that'll also be easier and just help us all grow closer as a community.
I agree 100%. All right, so let's here at the end, since it is Christmas season, let's transition a little bit back into some more of the crazy and the zany that you talked about. So I think I had read too about you like to sing, you love to sing. So if you had to get on stage and sing that one Christmas song and just belt it out, what would it be?
Oh, definitely. It'd be two. I can't just pick
Okay.
one. I've actually done it to John Ross before at a Christmas sing along when he was in kindergarten. It was All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Okay.
And I sang it to him in front of the entire 700 student population of his school.
Okay.
So, and he just jumped right in with me. He didn't care. He was in kinder and he's kind of crazy like me. So, definitely that song. And then my other favorite is Happy Holidays by NSYNC because, NSYNC was the band whenever I was in high school. And so, I love Happy Holidays by NSYNC. So those two would be the ones I would definitely jump up and sing.
Okay. All right. So there's an opportunity for the staff Christmas party for a microphone to be handed over. All right.
Well,
I'm totally
come on
down.
out.
Totally down. I'm totally down with that. So, kind of next question, random: is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
It is, but I have watched it on Christmas
Okay.
before. I have watched it on Christmas, and as I was watching it, I was thinking, why is this a Christmas movie? But yeah, no, my usual go-tos are Home Alone and the Griswold's Christmas. Those are probably my top faves.
Okay. So that was my next question. Is that so those would be your favorite
Oh
Christmas
yeah,
movies? Okay.
I can quote them, and I'll laugh out loud the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably there with you. Like, I will argue that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but am I watching it all every? No, I'm not. I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it. But I'm
Yeah,
not that kind of person. But I'm trying to think of one that I will probably just. I mean, Christmas Vacation. I
it's
mean, that
great.
just
I mean,
that hits every time
it's
on.
awesome. I mean, everybody has those crazy family members who they can honestly probably relate and make a connection to.
I am that crazy family member. I'm
Okay.
so I mean, it's all good. And then Elf hits. You
Oh, yeah,
know,
it's a good one too. My
Elf
kids like that one.
Elf hits.
Yeah.
you know. And I mean, there's some classics out there too, but I mean, I think those two probably just me being a little nutty is probably my two favorites.
They're my favorite.
But anyway. Well, thanks for being a part of the Eagle Nation podcast. We again are thrilled to have you here, and appreciate everything that you've been doing so far. And we look forward to all the great things that are going to happen with the lower school over the course of the rest of this year and the next couple of years. So again, Jill Hunt, lower school principal, and appreciate you being here on Eagle Nation podcast with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.